So I wanted to take a moment to share some of my personal galactic history that will interface with a lot of you who are here. And if you are interfacing with me, then, energetically there's a reason because we're probably, in that same timeline and monoframe of karmic infusion. And so I just wanted to give you guys a little bit of background from my personal soul memories and things that I'm seeing, playing out right now in the 3D, reality. So most of us that were sent here to be on the front line of this paradigm shift, we're from the Lyran planetary system, from Lyra. I know I am from Vega. Well, I'll jump to that in a second. So next to the Lyran constellation is Dracos, where the Draconians emanate from, and also Cygnus, which is the North Star. It's the swan, so it's like a bird race. And so you've got bird, reptilian, and in Vega they were cat people. So, and that's where eventually the Egyptian timelines, intersect with that race. Anyway, so anyone from Lyra is going to have bird, cat, and reptilian elements. The Druids emanated from the Draconian races, but they were separating out from the old ways in search of integration with what was happening in the human creations. So humanity originated, for the most part, in Lyra, in the physical form. Before that, we were individuated consciousness that existed in a place called Triangulum. It's M33 on the constellations, on the constellations map. And you'll notice, 33 and the fact that it's called Triangulum is very reflective of where occult garners its power from the 3, and the inception of that Saturnian code applied to humanity. The pyramids here, while they appear to be aligned with constellations like Orion, these were actually hijacked codes because initially the pyramid stargates were connected to the star system, the star system of highways, the vortexes and portals that, you enter here and exit somewhere else in the galaxy systems, were secretly encoded to tie to Triangulum. So in Triangulum, we were just meme consciousness. That's what it was called, meme. much like the way we see our memes on the internet. But that's what it was. We were meme consciousness. So we were individuals. We had personalities. We had dynamics as far as energy and light beings were concerned. But we didn't have physical bodies, avatar vehicles with which to come into the physical form requirements to participate in these lower vibrational systems. And so that's kind of how we jumped from just being individuated consciousness to being part of the humanity project. And then we got, again, all the different races were kind of mixed in for a reason, to try to help us bridge the glitches in the system that were creating these duality gridlocks and wars all over the star systems. Eventually, it was just literally trial and error. Mars was what I know as Velatropa 24, and that was the red star. And Earth was Velatropa 24.3, if I remember correctly. I'm dyslexic, so sometimes I turn numbers around. But that was the blue star. Earth, the blue star, Velatropa 23.4, or 24.3, 24.3, that's what it was what was Lemuria. And the first, one of the first organic manifestations of humanity. And then Atlantis was on Mars, which was Velatropa 24, which they destroyed, and blah, blah, blah. And we've been caught in the reincarnation loops ever since. Every time they've tried to fix a glitch, it's trapped different monoframes into the system, what was supposed to be a fluid, multidimensional system. So it's trapped us in the system, and then every time they try to fix the system, it just keeps creating more and more timelines, which create more and more glitches and fragmentations, and it's a mess. But you know that. So the front line on Earth today are primarily from the Lyran civilizations. The Pleiadians were a lot like the Orions in that they kind of played both sides of the coin. I would equate them to being like our lobbyists and politicians. I don't mean to talk poorly about people or races, but they kind of had their own agenda. Whereas the Lyrans were prepared to fight, like at all costs. And a lot of that had to do with the fact that we had a lot of draconian elements in our DNA. And the same with the cat, we were fighters. We were encoded that way. And so we had to learn to balance our, do no harm. But the Pleiadians were polarized in do no harm, and they had subversive sort of covert agendas. They weren't so connected to their heart chakras. They were more mental based, and the Lyrans were more connected to their heart chakra, So as we kind of roamed through the systems, we left the Lyran system through the wars, and we ended up in the Pleiades, and there was a lot of genocide and persecution going on there, as much as the Pleiadians try to present themselves as, the highest light. You have to remember they were kind of the encapsulation of the love and light, which is a polarization. They suffered their own karmic punishment for, not participating in the wars as well. And then from there, things moved over to Sirius, the Sirius star system, and that's when just to say this in a way that you can understand, that's when the Jesus narrative, which was meant to be a integration of polarities, in that it was Mary Magdalene and Jesus together, the integration of polarities that were sent to bring the information down, and that got hijacked, and some of it had to purposely go underground just to protect the players in that storyline, such as Jesus and Mary Magdalene. But that was an attempt to fix the glitch in the system that was dragging, or I shouldn't say dragging, that was keeping this place called Earth in a male-dominated, positive Mars action energy. In other words, being a positive and a negative polarity. Earth is gone through waves of different energetic assignment. So there's been times when it was necessary for the Earth to be in a male dominated energy field, but the core of the planet's energy field is a feminine one in nature. And so when the male dominated energy, which ties back to Sirius, Ursa Major Minor, I'm sorry, which I think encompasses Sirius, but when they refuse to give up their time frame of control and hand it over to the feminine aspect, they created yet another glitch. So that's kind of like where we're at now. Fixing glitch upon glitch upon glitch upon glitch. And everybody's information is different, because each individual person, each individual soul who's participated here in their galactic form, over time in history, has participated in different scenarios, different narratives, and different agendas, wearing different clothes, different avatars. And so that's what's vitally important right now about reclaiming our galactic ancestral roots. And that has to come from within each person. But this is the only way you can ascertain who you are within this virtual reality, I guess, within this storyline. No one can do that, for you but you. And so that's what the societal narratives are playing into. And they're being mirrored by each of our own silver cords into this reality. Anyway, I hope this helps at least a couple people to maybe understand a little more, and for us to together keep working through this paradigm shift in the integration of polarities so that we can release the duality gridlock and begin to flow again with the mechanics of what was intended. I love you guys. Thank you.